All right, guys, so today we are installing ClearVU on a 2500. This is gonna apply to the GMC or the Chevy, and specifically we're doing the split tailgate. So this is an option on a lot of the trucks, and they're starting to put them on all of them. It's a little bit more difficult of an install, but we're gonna walk you through the steps and show you that it's really not that difficult with our template. So we got to a point where we have the plastic cover off of here, and we popped out these two panels that are right in here. There's no fasteners, just get a plastic tool and pop these tabs. And the next thing we're gonna do is take out the camera housing. So that's two 10 mil bolts right here. And then there's a little plastic tab on this forward side. You pop that. This will pop out and drop down. So then from here, you're gonna remove all these four plugs, disconnect them. These two buttons in the middle, you're gonna have to disconnect from inside the tailgate, and then this will pop right out. Okay, so all these plugs have these little red tabs. Those are actually like locks. You have to slide them up, and then you can press down this tab and pull off. So all four of them have different variations of those lock things, so make sure you don't just go ripping it off. All right, so the next step we're gonna do is undo all these T15 screws so we can take this apart. Firstly, remove the parking light and the camera. All right, so now that you've removed these 10 T15 screws, we're going to separate this from this, and we'll take our template, and this is going to go right here. Fits in there perfectly, and this hole right here is where you are going to drill for the sprayer. So before we drill this hole though, you have to take these two T7s out, and you have to trim off this tab that holds this plastic part that holds the camera in place. But once we install the sprayer and the nut are going to sandwich where this was, and it's going to hold it all together in place of this tab. All right, so now that you take off this plastic part, don't lose the screw. You're going to take a razor blade and trim off this tab. Okay, I trimmed it before that, so it's not that simple. But just get a sharp blade and just push straight down. Go. All right, now that you've removed this from this and cut this tab off, which was right here, we're gonna take our drill template. Okay, this comes with your kit. It's gonna fit right here, just like that. And we're using a step drill. And go ahead and put just a pilot hole right there, just enough that it pops out the other side. All right, so the next thing you have to trim off is this little tab that was the receiver for that screw. So you just have to trim this flush like that. Okay. All right, so we got this trimmed off and it's flush. So what we did was actually took pliers or these snips and snipped it, and then took our fresh razor and carefully trimmed it flush like that. Okay. So now we can put this back together. That goes in there. This is gonna go on top. And then take that T7, install those back together, and then flip it over, and you have that pilot drill, or that pilot hole. So you're now gonna bore that open to a 5/16 hole and do it from both sides. Make sure when you are drilling from this side, you hold them together and it doesn't push this part out. You could, if you want, put the T15s back in here and here to hold it together. All right, so now our sprayer is going to fit in there. Like that. All right, so we got the sprayer in there. Make sure it's pushed flush and it's not too tight. Take them apart and drill them separately if you have to. What you don't want is to over tighten this and break the sprayer. Okay, so now we're gonna put this nut on. The torque spec is next to nothing. It's like 2 inch-pounds. You just want it snug. And then we can reinstall the camera and the light, install the short section of hose and the check valve, and then we'll show you how it's tying into the OEM wiper fluid system up front. Okay, so to tie into the OEM wiper fluid system, all you have to do is snip the line right here. That's your washer fluid line. Install the T-fitting. This customer opted for a shutoff valve, so it's just a couple extra bucks. But this allows you to shut off the whole system in the summer when you don't need it as much, and then you're not wasting fluid and all that stuff. So then from here, the line goes down, away from the exhaust, away from anything, away from the suspension, and it goes into the frame. And we route it through the frame rail. You can't really see it there. So it goes through the frame rail and then up here and out here where the OEM wire harness goes, follows that in here. For this, it's a little different because it has the split tailgate. Make sure you leave a service loop in here of a couple inches so that when you close it, it doesn't pinch or pull the line. And then it has to run through this out here. And then we have our 2 check valves. Make sure the arrow is pointing in the direction of flow to the sprayer. And then we're gonna route this down here and hook it up to our sprayer. All right, ready? Yeah. So now to use the system, you're just gonna use the OEM wiper fluid button. In this case, it's right there.